who's lined up at number 3 in the slot.
And there it is. Instead, it's a pick. Intercepted on the 1-yard line by Peavy, who's taking it back. He's got help from teammates. Kenny Hill to beat. Peavy tracked down from behind by Turpin at the 30-yard line. And the Clones have momentum back. Quarterback on 2nd and goal. Hill going to throw, in trouble, hit, and sacked back at the 11. He fumbled the ball. Recovered by Iowa State. Hill on 2nd and 10. Throws, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Spears.
How's it going, everybody? Flashjordan here, and it is week 10 of the college football season. The season is already almost over, but week 10 means that the first college football playoff rankings are out. I'm really excited to talk about them. These are some pretty interesting rankings, and we're going to quickly go over what we think about them. Personally, I have no problem with these rankings. You might say, wait, I mean, you're a Big Ten fan. How come you don't have a problem with Wisconsin being at 9? Again, just like Miami, they really haven't played anybody yet, so I can see why they are at number 9 and Miami's at number 10. But there are a couple things I would like to see better. I have no idea why Mississippi State is in there number 16. They weren't even ranked in the AP poll last week, and somehow they jumped all the way to number 16. I don't really know. I honestly, okay, now look. Even though Oklahoma beat Ohio State by a solid margin, they completely beat them in that game. Just really a blowout, really. Based on what we thought it was going to be. I still wouldn't put them over Ohio State. I think if they played again, it would not even be a contest. Oklahoma has looked pretty shaky a couple times since they played Ohio State, and Ohio State has just been blowing everybody out, besides the game against Penn State, which was amazing, and I'll never forget that. That's what I think they shouldn't have done. I think Ohio State should have stayed over Oklahoma as they were in all the other polls. But now we're going to bring in our college football insider, Craig Dead Cruz. And before he comes in, I'd just like to say, this episode is not sponsored by Sling Television. You can definitely not stream live TV on your big screen. Anyway, what do you think the committee should not have done?
Well, I mean, Wisconsin ranked number 9 at undefeated 8-0. They're about where they need to be. I'm not gonna lie. They have, the best team they've played is Northwestern. But Penn State, under Ohio State makes sense, and Oklahoma over Ohio State makes sense. The questionable thing here is Clemson at number 4, 7-1. They got beat by Syracuse. I mean, how do you justify that?
Yeah, I have no idea. Is there anything you think they should have done, or is just what you just said basically wrap it up?
Well, placing UCF at number 18, at least they're in the top 20. I think UCF should have been a little closer to the number 10. That's all I think they should have done.
Yeah, you're pretty high on the undefeated teams, really, every year. You were saying that about Western Michigan last year, although that ended up proving to be wrong. But anyway, let's look ahead to this week. I know last week was a fantastic week. The vlog went up this week. Hope you guys liked that. Let's start off with the number 14 Auburn Tigers at the Texas A&M Aggies. Now last week, Texas A&M got blown out by Mississippi State. Not sure if that's why they had Mississippi State in the polls that high, but I don't really know. Anyway, I think Auburn's going to win this game. I think they're going to win it pretty convincingly. Again, Texas A&M didn't really show any improvement in the game against Mississippi State, so I'm going Auburn here.
I think Auburn is probably the safer pick, but remember, 6-2 versus 5-3, anything can winner over Texas A&M.
I want to bring up one thing. You have been doing terrible in the pick'ems the last few weeks.
Yeah, pretty terrible.
So, I just wanted to mention that before you did your... Next game we have the number 7 Penn State Nittany Lions at the number 24 Michigan State Spartans. Now, I think this game will be really interesting. Michigan State's been a giant killer in these past few years. And Penn State, I still believe that behind Ohio State, they're the second best team in the Big Ten right now. And they barely lost to Ohio State. Now, I think they could have lost by more, just a couple stupid mistakes by Ohio State that any other team would have easily cleaned up. But regardless, I think Penn State's still going to pull this one out. I think it'll be a really good game, but I think they're going to come back and get a win on the road in East Lansing.
Well, Penn State played well against Northwestern. Northwestern beat Michigan State. I think Penn State's going to end up winning this game, even though it's at Michigan State. Now, the thing is again, 7-1 versus a 6-2. Okay. And that's 7-2. Travel nights. I'm going to go with Penn State here.
Next game we have the number 15 Iowa State Cyclones going at the West Virginia Mountaineers. Now, West Virginia's been here a lot this year. And last week I picked them to beat Oklahoma State, and that didn't really happen. They lost 50-39. Definitely not a good performance. And Iowa State's been playing fantastically, probably their best football in a long time. And I think they're going to keep rolling. Iowa State's going to win this one. I want them to win. I want them to win the Big 12. Let's go Cyclones.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something if they won the Big 12? I mean, here's the thing: West Virginia got slaughtered, and Oklahoma State is a good team. But I didn't think the score would be what it was. With that said, it's at West Virginia. They've got the crowd behind them. On the other hand, I'm picking Iowa State. I would love to see Iowa State win. They need to win out if they want to win the Big 12. Let's go.
The next game we have here, the number 4 Clemson Tigers at the number 20 NC State Wolfpack. Now, from the beginning of the year, I knew this was going to be a really good game, but just from what I've seen from Clemson, I've picked against them basically every time, and I'm not doing that this week. They're going to go in there and beat NC State. It will be a great game, but Clemson gets it done.
Here's the thing. Like, NC State, they dropped a handful of number down, in the AP and the USA Today poll. I can see NC State winning this game, but I feel like Clemson, with the pressure of being in the college football playoff ranking at number 4, needs to win this game. I personally see Clemson coming into this game and absolutely dominating the Wolfpack and dropping them from the top 25.
I honestly would not be surprised if that happened. Next game we have here, a very interesting one. The number 21 Stanford Cardinal at the number 25 Washington State Cougars. Now, I really don't know how to feel about either of these teams. Stanford barely won at Oregon State. Now, granted, the starting running back Bryce Love was not playing, but they should still win by more than that. And maybe that's showing that Bryce Love is the ultimate key to this team, that they're really pretty much nothing without him. And Washington State, I don't know, man. They got killed by Arizona last week. They got killed by Cal a couple weeks ago. I'm picking Stanford to win this game. I think Stanford's going to pull it out in the end. Go Cardinal.
We actually agree a lot this week. And my picks have favored the higher ranking. Number 21 Stanford versus number 25 Washington State. Boy, this game could be a coin flip. But I'm picking the visiting teams. But, Clemson visiting at NC State, Stanford visiting at Washington State, Iowa State at West Virginia. Let's go away team and pick Stanford Cardinals for the sheer fact that Washington State, they got slaughtered by Cal. So let's go 6-2 Stanford over Washington State.
And I think we're going to keep with that trend here. Well, then again, it is you picking this game. The number 6 Ohio State Buckeyes at the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, I'm picking Ohio State to blow them out, but if this game was at night, I think it would be a little bit better, because there's something about playing at night in Kinnick Stadium at Iowa that is just, the away team just loses everything. And unless you're Penn State and do a miracle, you're probably going to lose. But Ohio State's going to win this one. It'll probably be like a big margin. Hopefully, the team ahead of them loses and moves up where they should be right now. But I'm not going to talk about that. It's a topic for another day. OSU wins big.
Yeah, I don't even know why this is a pick'em game. I mean, unless the experts see something that I don't. Iowa is just, I mean, they're 5-3. That's not a bad record. They've won 5 out of 8 games. But look at Ohio State. They have really made themselves better in the limelight. They have one loss. They're going into Iowa. Granted, it is a 3:30 game, like you said. I still see Ohio State winning pretty big here. Go Buckeyes.
I think that's the most you've ever complimented Ohio State, ever. And we're going to save the next game for the end. It is the game of the week. Next, we have the Texas Longhorns at the number 8 now, TCU Horned Frogs. Now, TCU coming off a loss to Iowa State. They're definitely going to bounce back here in this game. And even in the Iowa State game, they had plenty of chances to win. They were first and goal a couple times. I don't think they scored at all. I think they turned it over both times. So I think they're going to come back and get a win over Texas, though. I think Texas may keep it short, though, or may keep it a close margin the whole game, though.
Yeah, this is one of those games, excuse me, where TCU has to win. If they want to even come close to making the playoffs, they've got to beat Texas at TCU. Texas is 4-4. They struggle every game. Let's go TCU here. I mean, Horned Frogs have a lot to prove. They want to win the Big 12. Got to win this game.
Next game we have here, the number 19 LSU Tigers at the number 2 Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, both of these teams are coming off a bye week, and Nick Saban's facing his old team. Alabama's always been a good game, but I'm going to pick Alabama to win this game. I think it'll be close up until about halftime, and then Alabama's just going to roll away.
Wouldn't that just be something if LSU won, though?
It would, though.
I mean, to be able to take down an SEC opponent and prove the coach worthy, 2 ranked teams. There's a lot of ranked team games this week.
Oh, yeah.
But my gut feeling tells me Alabama's going to stay undefeated. I don't see anybody beating them in the SEC, to be honest with you. So they got.
I would disagree.
I'm not going to say roll tide, but Alabama's going to win.
Next game we have here, the number 13 Virginia Tech Hokies at the number 10 Miami Hurricanes. Now, as you'll see here, most people are picking Miami, but I think Virginia Tech is going to roll through Miami this week. Miami has not been playing good at all. They're undefeated, but they're winning games by an average of like 3 or 4 points against terrible opponents. They only won by 5 at 1-7 at the time, now 1-8, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, big.
That's sad that North Carolina has so many losses. I really think they're better. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if you remember, the 1995-1996 Northwestern Wildcats won most of their games by less than 10 points. Miami is about the same team. They're number 10. Look, Miami wins the ACC, goes undefeated. They have to get into the playoffs. Miami's got to win this game. Therefore, I'm picking them over Virginia Tech.
And it's the first time we disagree this week, so that may end up, where we put our points may end up being the most crucial part.
I got a number 10.
And game of the week. The number 5 Oklahoma Sooners at the number 11 Oklahoma State Cowboys. Bedlam in Stillwater this year. I want Oklahoma to lose. I want Oklahoma State to win. And I think it's going to happen. Oklahoma has not been playing teams well. Oklahoma State's going to defend their home turf. They're going to beat Oklahoma in pursuit of the Big 12 championship. I think Oklahoma State takes this one.
This is one of the years, I would say, in the last 6 to 7 years, minus the whole TCU Baylor 2014. I'm going to say Oklahoma game at OK State because Oklahoma's number 5. Okay, Oklahoma feels the pressure. Oklahoma understands they have to win out. They've got the Iowa State Cyclones knocking at their door. They've got the TCU Horned Frogs. Thing is, we're
disagree on that. I'm sure this will be a fantastic game, and it's going to be a fantastic week of football. Thank you all for watching. I know this is a big week. Playoff rankings came out. A lot of discussion over anything, really. I mean, if any topic you think of the top 25, someone's probably talking about it. Again, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Any last words for the people at home?
Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. There's dozens and dozens of videos to view. And with that, I have to say, Daddy-O out.
All right, see you next week.